All right, let's jump right into this. We're about to unpack a change in the pharmaceutical industry that is so much more than just a simple update. Honestly, it's a fundamental rewiring of the system that identifies every single drug here in the United States. So, let's get into what this transformation from a 10 to a 12-digit national drug code really means for you.
And this quote, it absolutely nails it. This is the key thing you need to get right from the very start. We're not just tacking on 2 extra digits. We're talking about changing the data architecture that underpins the entire U.S. drug supply chain, from the moment a drug is made all the way to when a patient gets the bill.
So, what's actually changing here? Well, for decades, the industry has been running on a system with multiple, kind of confusing formats. Now we're finally moving to a single, unified standard. And that, my friends, is the biggest shift in drug coding that we have seen in a generation.
And this slide just lays it all out perfectly. Look on the left, that's the old world. 3 different 10-digit formats that, created constant headaches and required all sorts of conversions. On the right, that's the future. 1 single, universal 12-digit format, a 6-digit labeler code, a 4-digit product code, and a 2-digit package code. No more guessing, no more conversion mistakes. Clean and simple.
Now let's look at the timeline. You might see that effective date way out in 2033 and think, phew, we've got plenty of time. But that's a trap. The really critical part here is that transition period, that 3-year window. For 3 whole years, both the old 10-digit and the new 12-digit NDCs will exist at the same time. And that overlap, that's the danger zone. That's where all the complexity and the real risk is hiding.
So who needs to be paying attention to this? The short answer? Pretty much everyone. From the manufacturers who have to relabel every product, to the pharmacies updating their systems, to the payers who have to redo all their rebate calculations. This change touches every single player in the pharmaceutical game. Nobody gets a pass on this one.
And that brings us to the biggest challenge of this whole thing. Let's be crystal clear. The danger isn't the 12-digit number itself. The real risk is a lack of synchronization between all the different systems, all the data, and all the partners that have to make this change together at the same time.
So the first major landmine to watch out for is something called hidden hard coding. Think about it. For decades, systems were built with one simple rule baked in. The NDC is always 10 digits. That rule is now buried deep inside your ERPs, your warehouse systems, your integration software. It's like cracks in the foundation of your house. And when the format changes, these systems won't just flash an error. No, they could fail silently, quietly corrupting shipment data, messing up your inventory, and creating huge problems you won't even see until a shipment goes missing.
Remember that 3-year transition period I called the danger zone? Well, this is why it's so treacherous. Your systems will have to juggle both formats at once. What does that actually look like? It means a pharmacist might see 2 different records for the exact same medicine, which could lead to a dispensing error. Or your inventory system might treat them as 2 separate products, leading to you either running out of stock or ordering way too much. It's basically a recipe for chaos if you don't manage it perfectly.
And this just says it all, doesn't it? Managing 2 different IDs for the same exact thing at the same time, it doesn't just double the complexity, it multiplies it exponentially. Every single transaction, every report, every piece of data you exchange suddenly has a brand new way it can go wrong.
And this leads us to another huge risk, a lack of what we call master data governance. Ask yourself this question right now. In your company, who owns the mapping between the NDC and the GTIN? That's the barcode number on the package. If you can't point to one person or one team, you've got a serious problem brewing. Without a single source of truth, different systems will have different ideas about what a product is, and that's a data integrity nightmare waiting to happen.
And that's the bottom line. Data governance isn't just some boring IT issue. When your data's a mess because no one's in charge, everybody, from the folks on the packaging line to the finance department, feels the pain. You see it in failed transactions, wrong reports, and a disrupted supply chain.
So, if you remember just one thing about all these risks, let it be this. This is not a technology problem. It's a synchronization challenge. Your success is going to depend entirely on getting your internal systems, your master data, and all of your outside partners perfectly aligned and moving in lockstep.
Okay, so let's bring this down from the 30,000-foot view of systems and data. How do these synchronization risks actually affect the day-to-day work? What does this look like on the shop floor and with your partners?
Well, this is where a digital problem becomes a very real, very physical one. Every single packaging line that prints or verifies an NDC has to be reconfigured and revalidated.
And here's the crucial part. If the master data in your main system says one thing, but the printer on the line is set up for another, you're looking at an immediate production shutdown, wasted product, and wrongly serialized drugs that you can't even ship.
And it's not just the equipment. Every single product package going to the US market is going to need an artwork redesign. Both the text people read and the barcode on machine scans have to be updated. Any mismatch between that new artwork and your system data can lead to some serious compliance problems, maybe even a recall.
Finally, and this is the real kicker, you can be perfectly prepared inside your own four walls, but it won't matter one bit if your partners aren't. Your contract manufacturers, your logistics providers, your wholesalers, everyone you work with has to be ready to send and receive the new 12-digit format. If just one link in that chain isn't aligned, data exchange will break and products will stop moving. Period.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the risks and the challenges. I get it, it sounds daunting, but now let's pivot to the solution. How do you actually manage this transition and come out on top? The good news is there's a clear, actionable framework you can follow.
Here are the 6 key steps. First, do a full end-to-end impact assessment, and don't just look at IT. Second, fix your master data governance now. Seriously, start tomorrow. Third, make a rock-solid plan for how you're going to manage that tricky dual format period. Fourth, start talking to your partners now and keep talking to them. Fifth, make sure your physical packaging and your system data are always in sync. And finally, treat the validation of all these changes with the seriousness it deserves. This is a GXP critical update.
So, what should you do the second this explainer is over? We've boiled it all down to an urgent checklist for production and IT leaders to get the ball rolling immediately. First things first, go find every single system that stores or uses an NDC. Then, trace that data from beginning to end to see its whole journey. Figure out where you have that risky, hard-coded logic that could break. Define clear ownership for your master data. And most importantly, start having those "are you ready" conversations with all of your trading partners today. Do not wait on this.
And really, that's what it all comes down to. This question isn't just for you, it's a question for your entire organization. Because in this transformation, success isn't about technology alone. It is all about synchronization. And the time to start planning for it is right now.